We all want our children to be successful and happy. That's a given, but it is not easy. We know that adults who are raised to be independent and self-reliant have the best chances at happy, successful lives. In this video, I want to share my thoughts about how we as parents can help our children to become independent and effective and live happier lives. So let's get started. If we want to help our kids become independent and self-reliant, there are two key things that we must do. First, I believe that it always starts with work. I know that sounds odd, I know that sounds funny, but it is hard to overemphasize the benefits of work for our kids. Work has a direct impact on their self-esteem, confidence, and general sense of being able to do difficult things. Work gives kids a sense of well-being, and learning how to do hard things, as I'm teaching in my course on self-esteem, is fundamental to kids growing with a strong sense of identity, independence, self-reliance, and self-esteem. Now, I know it's more difficult to do it this way, but I've found that the benefits of work are increased if you can work together. In this way, you can not only create self-confidence and satisfaction, but you also create connection with your child. Even if you're not working on the same project, it's just nice to be together when you're working. You know, one of my favorite things to do in the evenings, I'm doing my own work, and I'll just sit next to my kids while they're doing their homework. It's also important that all siblings have age-appropriate responsibilities in the home. This instills a sense of community. Everybody is working together to create order in the home. If we don't include everyone in the chores, it can foster a lot of resentment among siblings. So like even our busiest daughter had weekly jobs that she needed to complete before her weekend fun could begin. Second, raising kids to be independent and self-reliant means they have to be capable of doing hard things. So I want you to make this a mantra in your home. The reason this is important is because the ability to persevere and do hard things, that is the very foundation of self-esteem. So like many people think self-esteem comes from positive praise, like compliments or high achievements. People think that self-esteem comes from how we are seen by others. In fact, there's been a lot of theories on self-esteem over the decades, and one prominent theory was that our view of ourselves or our self-esteem comes from having other people think positively of us. That's absurd. I can tell you that is not it. It does not come from praise. It doesn't come from compliments or accomplishments. I have known some of the most high-achieving people in the world. I've worked with celebrities, professional athletes, people with unbelievable wealth, and some of them are miserable. Some of them have horrible self-esteem. So self-esteem, autonomy, self-reliance, these must come from something else. I believe it comes from being able to cope with difficult things. The reason I say this is because when I do something difficult, meaning that when I cope with something, I will inherently feel proud of myself. The rule of thumb is this, that when we cope or face difficult things, we feel good about who we are. Alternatively, when we avoid, we feel poorly about who we are. In fact, think of the last time you did something that took some courage or was really difficult for you. How did you feel about yourself in that moment? You know, I've asked people this question in groups many times over the years, and we get these universally similar responses. When you ask people to think about the last time you did something that took courage or that required you to face something that was difficult, when you ask them how they feel about themselves, the words they use are always something like strong. They feel capable, they like themselves. When you think about the last time you chickened out with something that you avoided that was difficult, like maybe a difficult confrontation with somebody or work or anything, how did you feel about yourself when you chickened out, when you avoided? Well, when we ask this of groups of people, they all say the same thing. They say the word weak. So when we cope, we feel strong. When we avoid, we feel weak. Before we move on to the next points, I want to thank you for watching this video. Are you struggling to communicate with your child or discipline them effectively? None of us are given a manual when our kids are born, knowing all the rules and things that we should do. We learn by trial and error. Well, that's what this channel is all about. It's about using my system of correcting and connecting to build strong, trusting, and influential relationships with your kids. If that's the kind of thing you want to know more about, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with your friends. Now let's get back to the video. So to build independence, self-reliance, and a strong sense of self-esteem in your children, it's okay to give them compliments and praise, but don't kid yourself and think that's going to give them positive self-esteem. You can help them develop real independence, real self-esteem, self-reliance by requiring them to do difficult things. I know this sounds like a silly example because it's so basic, but just the other day, my son went to get his driver's license. Now, this is not a tech-savvy kid. His mom required him to get online, complete the forms, make the appointment, everything. He had to do this himself. He did not want to do this, but she sort of made him do it. By making him do that instead of doing it for him, worst thing that could have happened was the license got delayed. That seemed like a pretty good risk to take. But he did it, and he learned how to do something that he needed to do for himself. Again, this is just a minor example, but this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Have your kids do for themselves what they should be doing for themselves. Don't intervene and do for them when they should be doing something for themselves. So in summary, if you want to help your child become independent and self-reliant, give them regular daily chores and work to do, and make it a mantra in your home that you can all do hard things. Don't do for them what they can and should do for themselves, even in small things, because that is the foundation to their ability to develop and internalize the skills that they need that will make them independent and self-reliant. Are you looking for a more effective way to connect with your child and build long-term positive influence? Maybe your child is misbehaving or going through a difficult phase and you struggle to know how to discipline them or even sometimes just how to reach them at all. Hi, my name is Dr. Todd Corelli, and I have spent the last 25 years as a clinical psychologist working primarily with children, adolescents, young adults, and families. I have worked with thousands of families around the world, and I have seen the challenges facing families today. That's why I've created a 4-part video series that is completely free to watch and available for online viewing immediately. This will help parents become much more effective at bonding with and positively influencing their children. This system is completely unique and highly effective. I have seen this system benefit my own family and so many others, and I want your family to have this too. So just go to the link in the video description below, or you can go to correctandconnect.com, enter your details, click the button, and I'll send you immediate access.